know.
Following.
Yeah, it's following. Well, you weren't on there, but you guys, we're gonna get started here. Welcome, Caroline Huo, Stockton, Tracy, Manteca,
Oh my
Modesto.
gosh, all of you.
And we have you in person.
It's amazing.
I'm so excited. My friend here,
you.
Caroline, is here in person. So this is exciting for us. You guys, her bio is amazing, truly is amazing. I have to say, having her in person is over the top exciting for all of us.
Well, you ask and I jump. So
Okay, I don't think that's true, but okay, but thank you. We actually belong to our little tribe of our own, right? There's like 9 of us in all of KW, and I'm blessed to be a part of that with you. And that is called R2G2.
Yes.
You have actually assisted myself on that and inspired so many. So thank you for that.
You're an amazing leader. So
Thank
you're
you.
easy to work with and follow.
Well, thank you. So the cool thing is also, we were chatting a little bit about her children. They're going, or they went to Quantum Leap with Gary.
Yes, they did.
And so
Made a
how
huge
long ago?
difference in their lives. It was actually the summer of lockdown, 2020.
Really?
So it was the first time Gary had it via Zoom, which is very
Oh, I
unique
didn't even
and
know it
very
was via
special.
Zoom. Okay,
And for these kids and young adults to show up for 2 days
right.
on Zoom, full access to Gary was absolutely incredible. You
Yeah.
could see the leaps in their mindset.
I encourage you guys, if you have children from 18 to 28, make sure you get them there. There's a link on my Facebook, because I actually signed up Matthew and Alyssa. I don't know if I told you that. Yeah, so I'm really, really excited. We already booked our hotel because I'm going. There's no way they're going to go to Austin without
Oh
me.
my gosh, in
So
person.
yeah, they're going to be in person, yes. And so Paul and I are going to be there through the whole thing with them. So we'll be able to chat afterwards and mastermind. So I'm excited about that. So my point is, I encourage you all to get your young adults there. It's a game changer.
Game changer. And with going through that, our son is now starting 3 business ventures, and he's actually getting seed funding. And he and she, they're both saving up for a down payment to build their wealth. And this is all through, talking about it at home and then being in Quantum Leap with Gary.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is it not? I mean, gosh, what an opportunity. Yeah. Oh, you did? Are you going with her?
Yes.
Oh, we're gonna have so much fun. Oh, we're staying at the Driscoll, just letting you guys know, because I do like the Driscoll. It's haunted and nothing's happened yet, but one day it will. I know. But anyways, okay. So I'm gonna let you take it away because I was at family reunion. All they talked about was your branding class.
Really?
I was in another class and I was praying somebody record it, and all the recordings are up soon.
Yes.
So that's gonna be good.
Yes.
But I wanted you to share with everybody out here and obviously on Zoom because there's so many people there, 30 people there. So let's, we can start off by luxury.
Sure.
We're going to put in the chat, everybody who is a part of luxury already. Some of you don't even know, which boggles my mind. You should have been receiving some emails. We're going to go over the benefits of luxury and what it can do for you and your business.
Yes.
Take it away, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. My name is Caroline Huo. I run a team in Northern California in the Peninsula, San Francisco Peninsula. I've been in real estate for 17 years, and I've been recently invited to become the Director of Professional Development for Keller Williams Luxury. And so Michele is a dear friend of mine, and she asked me to come over and talk with you a little bit about what luxury means, the benefits of luxury, and then also Q&A and talk a little bit about the branding class I did at FAR. So a little bit about luxury. So last year, it used to be if you paid a monthly fee, you could be a member of luxury. And about a year and a half ago, Gary and the team sat down and said, okay, how do we revamp this and ensure that whatever is presented out there is truly is luxury. So now to qualify for luxury, there's a certain threshold that the listing has to meet or exceed. So if you've had 4, I'm moving a lot.
I know, I'm going to move this. I'm just going to block this right here.
They're probably
So-
getting motion sickness.
So if we do that, they're going to see that. How do we get something else on the screen like we do for bold? You know what I mean? What was that? Just so it's
Just
so
still.
distracting. But you could come over here too, right? Because
I'll
it's
just
gonna be.
stay still. I just talk with my hands.
No, you don't have, it follows you. The camera follows you.
It's following between you and the screen behind you.
Oh, that could be it.
I like that too.
Okay.
Good.
There you go. Yeah.
There
that's
you
probably
go.
better. Okay, so yeah.
So now to qualify to be an earned in luxury agent, you have to have 4 luxury qualified listings or buys, 4 transactions in a rolling 24-month period. And it goes by national benchmark. Nationally is 700,000, and then county. So county wise, I think in this county, San Joaquin, right? We're at 700,000. So if you've had a transaction 700,000 or over, if you have 4 of them in the last 2 years, you qualify, you have earned into luxury. So congratulations. I know there are a lot of you and I'm still moving around. Okay.
But that's okay. That's okay. So you can walk because it's
Yeah.
gonna follow you.
So luxury, what if you have a luxury listing and you're not an earned in agent just yet? Well, we have programs available for you. So everybody in Keller Williams has access to luxury learning series, and that's through KW Connect. If you haven't visited KW Connect yet or a very long time, please do so. It's a wealth of information on there, and you can look for the luxury learning series. And so there are luxury spotlights every odd month of the year, and then masterminds on every even month of the year. And so spotlights are going through and giving you education, showcasing some really wonderful places and luxury agents that are performing at high level, so you get to learn from them. And then luxury masterminds is something I'm going to be responsible from now on. We looked at 7 verticals, and so we want to educate our agents so that they can bridge the gap, so we can bridge the gap between us and our clients, and really start immersing ourselves into their lifestyle and what they like to eat and drink and where they like to play and where they like to invest. So our first one is going to be in April, and that's going to be the vertical we're going to be talking about is travel and leisure. So I'll be interviewing one of the head of sales for a very luxurious resort. I can't announce it yet, but that's coming soon. And just what are their service standards? So if you are a non-earned in luxury agent and you have a luxury listing, what happens? We have a program where you can actually access the luxury concierge. So it's luxury@kw.com. They are there to answer all of your emails, all of your questions about if you have a listing that is a luxury listing and what you can do. You have access to the concierge, you have access to the luxury learning series. You have access to marketing assets if you have a luxury listing. So you can use the branding, they can help you design your branding. And get this, for a luxury listing, for $195, you can purchase a whole package, and they can do this with you in a week. They can design the brochures, and they'll design the brochures for you. They'll do a just listed card for you. They'll create a smart plan for you through Command, and any leads that come through Command through the smart plans will automatically be imported into Command and tagged. They'll have a social post on your behalf and watch it. How's it performing? And if it's not performing, they'll even tweak it for you. And so that's all your assets for Market My Listing. And if you've sold it, you can also, for $95, create a just sold campaign through luxury. So even though if you're not an earned in agent yet, you do have access to all of these tools. If you are an earned in agent, and I know many of you are, I just saw the list, it's really exciting. You have access to all of that, plus text conversations and call-in conversations, one-on-one conversations with myself and Brady, who's our director of growth, on how to grow your business. You have access to the luxury reception during mega camp and family reunion, and the luxury mastermind. So you're masterminding with all of the top luxury agents in the company. So last at family reunion, we sold out. We had over 300 people in that room. We were overflowing. So it was actually about almost 400 to 500 people who signed up and wanted to mastermind together. And if you'd like, I'll send you the list of questions that we sent out and we masterminded about. And that, I think that helps with any business. And then on top of that, the real benefit of luxury is, we sell more luxury than any brokerage in the world. Nobody knows that, right? So we need to be telling our story. $90+ billion of luxury listings alone last year. That's pretty amazing. It's pretty astonishing. We can match it against Compass, against Sotheby's. We can show you the numbers, and it's all true. And so the network of agents, when I was at the networking event, I introduced one person to another, and a $16 million referral went out and a $2 million referral went out. just in a matter of 15 minutes. So you have access to all of that. When you do have a luxury listing, it only qualifies, we put you, if it's over your threshold, which is 700,000, it automatically goes to Wall Street Journal. So you need to tell your clients that. If it's over $1 million, it automatically goes into Mansions Global and Barron's. So that is a free benefit for any of you that have a luxury listing. Any questions so far about luxury? Yes.
So in the Keller Williams world, if you have, does it matter what county you sell your listing in?
So it depends on which, if you're associated with this market center, but you're selling in a different county, you can make adjustments for that.
Okay, so within 24 months, what, anything that you sell over 700,000 is considered luxury?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes. So check with your MCA, go to your MCA and just take a look. Are there any transactions that you did off market potentially that didn't count, that didn't show up? They all need to be accounted for.
Just make sure you CC myself or Patrick if you feel like you need Barbara to see 3 of them. Please.
Yes.
Or Barb.
Yes.
You mentioned over $1 million, you said Barron's, and what was the other?
Mansions Global. Yes. And that's where a lot of buyers are looking for luxury real estate. So when you have a luxury listing and it's posted everywhere through our KW network, our buyers may not be coming from here. They might not be local. What if they're from the Bay Area? What if they are from New York? What if they're from the other side of the world? So being able to have that luxury connection and to be able to showcase your listing throughout this entire global network is pretty cool. Let's see. Then when you get to a luxury elite status, you get access to the playbook, the luxury mastermind, symposiums. Symposiums are once a year. So it's in between family union and mega camp. It's usually at a resort. And it's limited to about 200 to 300 people. And it's a 2-day event where we sit there and we talk, we mastermind about what's happening in luxury space. How can we build our businesses? And then we have major speakers come in and showcase. Was there a question?
It was like, we may want to go in the chat and ask them to mute themselves.
So coming soon in the fall is the luxury subscription. And the subscription is I think it's $199 a month. And the luxury department will do 20 posts on your behalf every single month. Can you imagine? You don't have to do social media on your own. So on a luxury branded, it is 20 posts, like 2 to 3 posts a week. Any leads that they capture, they automatically go into your command. They have a smart plan for you. So you can basically step back, set it and forget it. That's the easy button. We heard a lot of people talking about they're struggling with social media, but what a beautiful way to promote yourself, your business, your listings through KW, like corporate, like Austin's doing this for you. If you've earned into luxury and you don't know how to brand yourself, I don't know what to do. There is a package that's like $99. And what they'll do is they will create a brand identity for you. They'll do an email signature for you. They'll create a logo for you, and they'll design all of your business cards for you. So again, another easy button we heard that people really wanted. So talking about branding, are any of that questions about luxury? Yes.
And regarding that package that you mentioned, does it include like the SIM presentation?
Oh,
For the luxury?
yes. Anybody has access to a listing presentation. If you have a luxury listing, whether you're earned in agent or not, you have the suite of services and templates through KW Connect.
All you have to do is go into the marketplace when you go into KW Connect.
Yes, you're welcome. Any other questions?
You mentioned the threshold for San Joaquin County, 700.
Yes.
Do you know what it is for Stanislaus County?
Stanislaus, let me check.
700, yeah.
I believe so. Yeah, they have all the California.
Well, it's actually 700, but then if the county is higher than if the 10%, it'd be like 10%, right?
So every county has, so San Mateo County, where I'm from, our threshold is 2,000,009. So it's different in every county. Let's see, if we pick another one in California, let's see. Hawaii, the Big Island is 700,000. Fresno is 900,000.
And it has to be in the same year, just so we all know, right?
It within the last 24 months.
Okay, 24
Yeah.
months.
And then what was the next level? Is
Sorry?
there Another next level up?
No.
The elite?
The elite, that's coming soon. That's
Okay.
the elite. That's something we're working on. This is the ultra luxury price point where, so for example, in San Mateo County, where I'm from, 2.9, you have to use your discretion whether or not it's a luxury property. It could be in like the most expensive zip code, but it's a fixer upper. Is that really luxury? It's at your discretion. My answer would be no. So, so we're working on that elite level as well. What does that look like? Yeah, you're welcome.
Is there somewhere we can find the threshold list?
Yeah, I have it for California. Your MCA should be able to pull it up through Command MC.
Okay.
When you go to Command MC. So make an appointment, sit down and take a look at that. Sounds like you might have a few that qualify.
Wondering that on different areas. so-
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, we're happy to talk afterwards too. So talking about branding, who went to family reunion or who watched the branding? You did. I don't know if some people did. So my presentation, MAPS asked me to present on branding, building a brand that matters. And for me, branding is very important. When I started my business 17, 18 years ago, I wanted to really understand who I wanted to be. And right before I joined Keller Williams, I designed my logo. And my logo is a link. And I designed it as a link because I link people with homes. I link buyers and sellers. I link community members. I can link business people to nonprofits, et cetera, et cetera. So that was really important to me. But then it's like, okay, what does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? And so what I did was I really sat down and said, okay, a brand is not just a pretty logo, right? It is a promise of consistent service. So what are some of the brands that you love and are really loyal to? And that you know that whenever you go, whatever you buy there's that consistent level of service that you can always count on. Anybody?
Just like going to any chain, store
Mhm.
that you can expect to go in there and see the same thing set up the same way at any time.
Right. And how about the people?
You expect the same service, whether it be Nordstrom's or,
Right.
or a hotel chain.
Exactly, exactly. Absolutely. That's one of my favorites. So the brand is everybody that touches your client in a transaction. How are they going to behave? How are they going to speak? How do they serve? How do they problem solve? And so what I started was the MVVBP, within Keller Williams, your mission, vision, beliefs, mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives, right? And so I took a few days to write everything down in a document, and that document really is a living covenant of how I'm going to treat my team members and how our clients need to be treated, expect to be treated. And so that becomes our working document. Then I kind of built a brand book. I didn't talk about this during the presentation. We didn't have time. So I asked a friend of mine who specializes in marketing and branding, and I said, help me with this brand. Help me get from here to here so that anybody can see this document and understand what we are. So what she did was she asked me to look at some of the brands that I really like visually, like what are some of the aesthetics that I like? And then service-wise, what are some of the places that I love their service, and made me write down why. So I talked about this before, and people who saw the presentation will know this, is that if you go to a one-star hotel and you ask them, where's the elevator? What do they usually do? They're probably reading a magazine. They're probably like, down there, right? Just go down there, all right? And then start flipping their pages. You go to a 3-star hotel, what do? Like, yeah, they're like, oh, it's right down there. They'll probably walk around, right down there to your left, have a great day. 5 or 6-star, what do? They come out, they greet you by name,
Right.
they walk you around the corner, they walk you to the elevator, they push that button for you so you don't have to do it. They walk in and they chit chat with you while the door closes and they say, have a great day. Very different, right? So what kind of experience do you want your clients to have? And the thing is with the Four Seasons, when you're saying that level of service, that language translates from the engineers who's working on the AC to the people caring for the pool, for the servers behind the cheese station, to the front desk, and everywhere in between. They all speak the same language. They all have the standard of care. So be very clear of how you want to serve your clients and put it down on paper, especially if you're thinking about building a team, or maybe you have a team now and you don't have that service standard written down. Make sure you do it. What I did was I spent a few days and I basically brain dumped everything that we do from the moment a referral comes in. So our business is about 90+% referrals. So the moment a referral comes in, what needs to go out? What gift needs to go out to thank the referrer? What does that note need to look like? What does it need to say? We have a template for that. What are the action items? Once a referral comes in, a series of things need to happen. So what does that template email to thank them look like? What is a template email to say, we're so looking forward to speaking with you on Monday. Here's a calendar. What day would you like to meet? To all the way through close. And we also look at the buyer journey or the seller journey. It's never like always happy, right? It's always like this: excitement, confusion, being wary and not unsure. So you are their guides through their entire process. So what are the service standards at every single point of that transaction where you're always ahead of them? So for us, one of our tenets is anticipatory service. We need to understand what they need before they even know that they need it. We need to answer their question before they even have that question. My pet peeve is a client coming to me is like, hey, just wanted to check in on ... That kills me every single time. That means we didn't do our job because we didn't anticipate it, okay? So even though it's in your head, make sure you write it down and revisit it often. And it always changes. It'll always change, it'll always be improving. Any questions about this so far?
No, this is great.
Any questions online? No? Yeah. So once you have your service standard, so I'll give you an example of how everything is just automated. When a referral comes in, a box of chocolate goes out from Tiny Bees, handmade Brazilian chocolates from San Francisco, very local, right? So they go out. Thank you for being so sweet and thinking of us and referring us to blah, 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 blah. We can't wait to share what happens with them. Reward the behavior, reward them for thinking of you, introducing you. We're switching our conversations from referrals to introductions, right? And then if it's a seller, so the first time we meet, no matter what, I always show up with something. I Facebook stalk them. We know what they like, kind of their aesthetics, what they like, don't like. Have a gift anywhere between $20 and $30 for them. Could be a candle. If they see that they really love flowers, could be a beautiful arrangement of flowers. Never show up empty-handed. You have the conversation with them. Before we even go there, we send them our pre-listing packet. Why we send a pre-listing packet is because I want them to see, feel, smell who we are. And our presentations are not black and white and standard paper. It is beautifully glossy paper, all packaged and bound together. And it has everything about us, samples of our marketing, how we list, and comps. And two reasons. Number one, to have the comps in there, because they're probably looking at Zillow and Redfin, right? So they probably have an idea what they think. So when you get in there, you're ready for a fight because they already have in their mind what they think their property value is, right? But if I send comps to them already, and these are real numbers, then they know what I'm going to be talking about. And these are real numbers in front of them. So it's less of a fight when we get to the pricing conversation. Number two, why we send everything about us in that pre-listing book is because I want that conversation about them. I never call a listing presentation, it's called listing conversation. And I learned this because a few years ago, I was up for a listing. It was literally a rocket scientist. This guy is a rocket scientist, and he was interviewing 5 agents to sell his house. He helped with the Google driverless car, all of that. Smart guy. And I was coming in and I was going up with the best of the best. And I got the listing and I asked him why. And he said, you're the only one that spent the 2 hours talking about me and not about you. Okay. So if you have the listing all about you delivered, hand delivered with a bow, presented to them 2 days or a day before the listing conversation, imagine the quality of conversation you can have when you're with them. It's going to be all about them. And when I start the meeting, I say, You might have received the listing packet, the pre-listing book already, and that's a little bit about us so that we can concentrate all of today's day about you and your goals and how we're going to meet them. So just remember, when you're talking with a client, it's not about you. By the end of the conversation, they should be signing, wanting to sign. So that's the conversation. We get the listing. Automatically, an email thread goes out, a created thread. Our team, it is myself, our director of operations, my executive assistant, our listing manager, and our listing concierge, plus the clients, all of us. And we name it. For example, if the street name is Paloma, we name it Team Paloma. We put the emoji of the house, right? Say, we are so excited to get to work with you. We're going to use this text thread for any urgent communication, such as appointments, vendor scheduling. Any non-urgent communication will be via email. Is this okay with you? And here is who is on this thread. Caroline Huo, your listing agent. Luann Fantasy, your director of operations. So we list who is on that thread. Everybody knows to pop in and say, hello, welcome, we're so excited. What a great experience, I hope. A great welcome and introduction to how they're going to be treated, right? When they're packing up, we gift them 5 hours of a professional organizer's time because we know packing is one of the hardest things to do. And so we have identified somebody whom we really love and really works the same way and serves our clients the same way we would. So we pay for her time. And then we ask the seller, however you want to use it, whether it's packing up or unpacking at your new home, you choose how much time, but we organize everything for them. When they're packing up, they're about to leave and open house is about to start, we send lunch. We always send lunch to them. We know packing is so hard. Here's a meal on us. When our movers are there, we send them drinks because our movers are working on our behalf as well. Most of the time we're referring them. So they have to make us look good. So we want to thank them as well. And before the open house, if there are children involved, I send a handwritten note to the child or children, only addressed to them. We know how hard it is to pack up your room and leave some of your most beloved toys. Can't wait to unpack them in your new home. Here is Baskin Robbins gift card. Here is a Netflix or Apple, whatever you think. At this time, you should know them pretty well, right? And how you get to know your clients. Anybody? How do you get to know your clients? What are some of the things that you do to get to know your clients?
Invite them out for lunch or brunch or play dates.
Mm-hmm.
Go schedule time with them to meet in their home, talk about some of the things that they're worried about.
Yeah.
People love to talk about their homes, issues they may have had in the past.
Yes. Yes. You're asking questions, right? Were you going to say something? Yeah. And you may be asking these questions, but the key thing is you have to be listening, right? I'll give you an example. One of our clients, she manages $8 billion worth of funds for the major organization. And as a thank you gift, I could have given her an Hermes scarf, right? She wore these scarves all the time. She probably has like 500 of them in her closet. But I remember in a passing conversation that she missed the bread, a certain type of bread her mom liked to make when she was younger. It's probably 10 seconds of a conversation. At closing, I got the recipe and I got a whole basket with all the ingredients she needed to make to remake her mom's bread. So that's active listening. You never know what one little piece of information can really, connect you with them. Okay, that's open house. We're constantly communicating them. When I take a listing, I always tell the team, is this a happy sale? Is this a sad sale? Is this a contentious sale? We're in a situation, there are 3 siblings involved and none of them talk to each other, right? How do we communicate? Are there attorneys involved? And then if there are attorneys involved, I call the attorneys, introduce myself. Sometimes they have separate attorneys, right? And we ask, how would you like us to communicate with you? How much communication would you like? Because you want the attorneys to be on your side because you're all working for the same client. You all want the same result, right? So those are now extensions of your team. When we're prepping listings, our contractors, our inspectors, all of them are members of your team, whether you know it or not. Because if they're touching your client and it's a referral that you gave, they've got your name on their t-shirts, right? So make sure that whatever vendor we tell our vendors too. So before we walk into a listing kind of like prep meeting and I'm meeting the vendors there, I tell the contractors, okay, this is a really sad sale. Don't ask them about their lives in this house. Just be very quiet, be very respectful. We're just in and out, right? If it's a happy sale, like she loves her sunroom, talk up the sunroom, tell her what we're going to do with the sunroom. It's really important to her. So communicating what you know about your clients to your team members, even your TCs, anybody who's serving that listing is really, really important. Where are we now? So we're open house. Okay, we've sold. We're about to sign. Anytime we sign, so now we used to meet in the office for signings. Now it is all virtual, or they go mobile notaries, right? So we know when they're signing, and about half an hour before they sign, a bottle of champagne shows up at their door. Okay. So sorry we can't be there with you today to celebrate, hoping to pop this with you when we're all closed. Something like that. So every single moment, every single point in their transaction that's a marker, significant item or significant event, there should be a process assigned to it. This is part of your brand, right? And then at closing, when they're moving, again, we send them, it's their last night, possibly in their home. What's your favorite restaurant? We order dinner, we have them delivered. People send us pictures of them crying, they're eating their food, they're crying in their empty dining room. But what a special memory, right? And then at close, we gift them something. So again, gifting something that is extremely personal. If they've loved their home, it's a hand-drawn picture of their homes all framed and definitely logoed, because then you get to write it off, check with your advisors. Or it's something else that they've mentioned that they really liked, or just something when you're listing, when you're in conversation with them, you're always listening about what's special to them. The bread basket, you know, $8 million house. I gave her breast basket, best gift she ever received. Any questions?
I like that idea. So for like the 3 R2s, there's a few people over in Lodi, and obviously wine over there, right? So I've actually sent them wine, and they still remember it like 2 years later. So they're always going to remember that. So that's a special touch.
Yes, exactly. They're going to remember that, and they're going to tell their friends about it. Can you imagine having that picture hung in their new home and people go, oh my gosh, where'd you get that? My realtor gave it to me, my old house. Then they start talking about you. So all of that, so you can see your brand is not just a logo, right? So what are some of your takeaways from this? I know many of you probably do this already, so just sharing my process.
I like that idea of the group text, you know, with the, and then naming it, how you have it named with their property, street name or something like that.
Yeah, it's team something, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we use their last name. If they're really fun, we use a whole bunch of weird emojis and they like it. And every time it shows up, it's happy, right? Yes.
I think we have some very great ideas, and I think I'm planning on using this very same actions for everybody, for everybody that I offer my services to. It's a good way to practice.
Yes.
It's perfect. And taking an action on every part of the transaction is excellent.
Yes. You know, thank you for that. You know, a lot of buyers are losing out. You know, we have a buyer, usually we write 2 or 3 offers and we can get them in. Right now it's brutal. There's a client that lost out on 5. We sent them to a movie, to dinner. Like, we know how hard it is for you. Keep on going. We believe in you. We'll get it. Right. So we need to measure so that they're not just a transaction to you. And then, you know, we talk in one of my favorite books is The Gold Standard. And it was written by the founder of Ritz-Carlton. And we're talking about, like, let's say a 7-course dinner at French Laundry, right? Every course is paired with this amazing wine, and you're just like, you're savoring, you're taking pictures. It's so wonderful. And the end of the transaction, when they're having, or at the end of the meal, they're having dessert, right? And then there's a fly in there. What are they going to talk about? The fly. How do you prevent that fly, right? And if there's a fly in there, you go, oh yeah, sorry, and you walk away. Versus, I'm so sorry, this is not right. Your service recovery, how do you recover? How do you recover so well that they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did that. That's what they're gonna talk about, right? So when they refer people, they're gonna say, you've got to work with her. Her systems, like she made it so easy. I knew everything that was going on. That becomes your brand. Yes.
Question from the Zoom land. Is the group text from your phone or from a different texting platform?
It used to be on my phone and then I don't do anymore. So it's our listing manager. And then our listing manager is doing it. Now we're handing it off to our client concierge. We just hired a client concierge because we realized that I was too busy. Our listing manager was getting too busy. So it wasn't being consistent. Consistency is really, really important, right?
And it's off of her phone. It's not like a different.
No,
app or anything.
no. We toyed with apps and sometimes they get glitchy. So we just went back old school and using our phones. You're welcome. Yes,
Great presentation, and I really like all the ideas that you're sharing.
thank you.
But looking at this, it's like, suppose somebody like me who doesn't have a team, how do we go into there? Can you specifically can choose things that single agent, even though you are doing that, the things that you are talking about, I definitely think there should be some people who taking care of those other parts of this
Yeah.
whole transaction.
Yes.
And the experience.
Yes. So I did all this by myself until 2017. So I was an individual agent for 11, 12 years. And I was doing all this by myself. And it's just being very organized and being very consistent. So spend some time. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your business and what your business can do for your family, right? To sit down and really put into words your systems and how you're thinking things through, what the messaging, it could be yourself, that's totally fine. But once you start getting busy and you want to hire your first executive assistant, they can come in right away and you can say, this is what I do. How easy is that onboarding going to be? Right? When somebody's saying, yeah, tell me about your team, you hired maybe somebody to help you market, this is what I'm about. So it needs to be a document that anybody off the street, if they pick it up, they know exactly who you are and how you do your business. You can do it on your own. And take small chunks. You don't have to do everything. Just start incorporating maybe one idea and another idea, another idea. Sure. How much time do we have?
We
have
as
more
much
time.
as you want.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm trying to see
So
all
I
these other
think they
questions.
touched on it over there. You have your concierge manager now that handles the touch points and the different phases of the transaction. What tools do they use to track it? And you mentioned you tried it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that's a text that's separate, but how we manage everything, we used to use Trello. So we had buyer process Trello, assign who does what, when, and a link to what the email looks like, the template, all of that. We got so specific that it was line by line. Anybody could be walking up the street, and if they follow this process, they'll know how to execute a transaction with us, whether a buyer or seller. And then now that we've Sisu, we went into Sisu, and Sisu is now going to integrate with Command, which is beautiful. So we transferred everything through Trello into Sisu, SISU. And so that's more of a transaction management web-based program that integrates into Command. It's not, I talked with this person on this date, that's Command, right? But Sisu, now if we enter anything to Sisu, it automatically imports into Command.
And that has the same setup as Trello where you can be very specific.
Oh, yes.
Find the template.
Oh, yes. Yeah, if right now I pick up my phone and I enter a new contact into Sisu, and I can say, what day is my first appointment, and then what phase they're in, automatically it triggers like a series of events. Everybody's getting notified what's happening next. You have a new transaction. Okay. Transaction coordinator, order the JCP and the prelim. Listing manager, start matching the vendors, and they have a deadline. So they have to go in and check off everything.
And that's already templates that you have predetermined, so once it happens.
Yes.
The system knows what to do
Mhm.
to initiate those checklists that need to be signed off on.
Exactly. I have probably 12 alerts right now that I'm trying to ignore. I'm like, I
What
forgot
is
that.
it called again?
SISU, SISU. But then you have to build your systems. This is why it's so important, right? It took us probably like 6 months to get everything in. So the more organized you are, the more scalable you're going to be.
And this will go directly into command.
Yes, we're actually working directly with SISU and some executives at SISU to try to make it better. Many of the top teams within KW use SISU as well, and top agents, individual agents as well. So we bought the whole year package and it was really reasonable. I think it was like 1,500 or 2,000 for the entire year. And then we bought additional white glove service, which means they helped us import our entire database in. You can do that in command too. So if you're not in command yet and you're really scared of it, professional services does have a program where they will import 10,000 people from your spreadsheet or wherever you have your contacts into command, and they will tag it for you.
If you go on our private Facebook group, that's the day you and I were actually at family reunion
Yeah.
presenting, and there's links on there for you, along with flyers that goes over everything, what they will do for you. But they're even pushing the ceiling as we speak, so those flyers are probably obsolete,
Mhm,
and they're doing more than that.
mhm.
But I'd encourage you to look at that. I know Stephanie and Tina are using it for a few of their listings right now. So, and when they were going forward, I believe they were using the database one as well. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe. It's a great system.
It's a great
It's in the
system
marketplace as well, you guys.
of the importing the into command.
It's
Yeah,
all there.
yep, it's there. So KWRI is working really hard. They're hearing all this feedback. And so they're just trying to create all these, and they are creating these easy buttons for you for every component of your business. Any other questions on branding and process? Yes?
So I know that you've evolved this over time. How long would you say it actually took you over the years of you being solo for you to come up with this? This is the one, you know, permanent touch point plan.
It's still going. It's still evolving. It's a living doc. It's like the English language. It's always evolving. And we're like, okay, that was a waste of time. Like that's one step we shouldn't be doing. Or you know what? These two steps could actually be merged into one by one email. It's always improving because especially as we scale. And that's the beauty of growing because you're going to go through growing pains. I'm excited about things that go wrong because that shows up holes that you can fill. Right? So whenever things go wrong and as you're growing, you're like, yay, because that's one thing that I know we need to work on. Seal that, build that foundation, pack it, and so that we can grow some more.
Like
So
the anticipatory survey.
absolutely.
What do you find is the most common question or a client reaching out and like, darn it, they should not have asked for that?
Yeah. When are the inspectors coming? Or when is a painter coming? Right? We always have our weekly emails. This is what's going to happen this week, right? And these are the dates that it's going to happen. Everybody gets a tentative calendar. Once we get the listing signed, a tentative calendar goes out. And then it's a live calendar, Google Calendar. They can go in and look at any time. If they're on the road, they can go on the Google Calendar, know exactly what's happening. There are some clients that need daily communication, once in the morning, once in the evening. There's some people like, just give me once a week bullet points, right? So our team, even though we have these standards and these protocols, you do have to flex for every client.
And you create a Google Calendar for each.
Yes,
transaction
yeah,
listing
we have a
and
lot
you
of
show
calendars.
them.
Yes, yep. And the whole team has access to it. And then we have a master listing calendar. So at any time, we can go into the master calendar, know exactly which one's launching. and all the things that are happening with that listing.
Wish we would have got on here earlier.
No, ask away.
Who was your first hire when you started building your team and you realized you felt?
Yes, so a little bit about my story, and it'll make sense. So I was individual agent for about 11 years. I started when the kids were really little, and I was lucky to build a business just by referrals. Top 1% to 3% Coldwell Banker, not nationally, but globally for a long time. Then I got really, really sick. I actually had a heart attack when in my early 40s. And I didn't know it was a heart attack. I drove myself to the hospital. Like, so you're all right.
Does that not surprise me?
Yeah, exactly. You would do the same thing. Don't do it. And then I took 3 months off and I evaluated my life and this career. Do I love what I do? Am I good at what I'm doing? And do I bring value to the people I serve? If those answers are all yes, then how do I build it so I can scale, so that I can have a life? Because I'm talking about family, God, family, business. When if you look at my calendar, my life, it was business, business, business. I missed a lot. And so the VP of my previous company came to see me and said, what do you need? And I told him the story and I said, and he's like, you need a bigger office. I'm like, I don't need a bigger office. I need systems and I need a way to grow this. And he said to me, teams don't work. It's all about the ego of the agent, right? Like, I almost gave my life for this company. That's not the answer I wanted. And then that was when I was invited to a business planning clinic with Dick Dillingham, right? And I went in like this, like, what are you going to teach me, right? And within 5 minutes, my jaw was on the ground. It's like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been hungry for my entire career, is people teaching me how to run this like a business and how to scale and how to hire. Like, this is not possible. So in a few months, I made the decision to join KW. It was the best decision of my life. March 1st, 2015 was when I joined. I cry, I don't know why. I love this company so much. It literally saved my life. Saved my life. You know the story, Norma. Saved my life, saved my family's life, saved my family from falling apart. And then I decided if I'm going to make such a big move, at that time I had major luxury listings on my hands and I was afraid to make the move because they're going to follow the brand. So I called all of my clients that I had listings with, agreements with. I said, we don't care which brokerage you're with, we're following you. They're following the brand. They're following the standard, right? So I came over and I said, if I'm going to make such a big move, then I'm going to unlearn everything that I learned and learn from the ground up. Like, come at it. Like, give me what you got. And I feel like KW, and I've spoken about this, is like a buffet, right? It's like the most magnificent buffet you could have, but it's up to you to stand up to that line. It's up to you to put what you need on that plate, right? If you don't need more carbs, don't put carbs on there, right? Don't fill your plate with carbs. Fill it with things that's going to nourish you to grow your business that year. You know, it's so tempting to try to do everything, but really focus on look at your GPS. If you don't have one, do one. You owe it to yourself. Do your GPS and say, okay, what are the things that I need to learn now to get me there at the end of the year? And then look at the training series, look at the training calendars and go to the things that would help you with that. With that, my first one was Bold, and then I got a coach. And then at that time, it wasn't career visioning, it was RSTLM.
Yeah.
It was RSTLM. It was basically the predecessor to career visioning. I went to that twice and I realized that my first hire is not a buyer's agent. My first hire is an executive assistant. So that was my first hire because that assistant was able to take away all the things. Like, if you calculate your dollar per hour, what you do, and if it's over like $15 an hour, then why are you doing $15 an hour work, right? Especially work that you don't enjoy. I don't like paperwork. I'm better talking to people. So hire somebody who loves paperwork and hire correctly for that seat. It's a long answer to that question. But
What was the name of the class you mentioned?
it's no longer in existence. It's now career visioning, which is even better. And I've taken career visioning 3 times. So you're constantly Because when you go, you're hearing something different.
Yeah, how many times do you take career vision before you actually decide to hire someone?
So the before career visioning was RSTLM, right? Recruit Select, basically was called. I took it 3 times, like, because I needed to, and I took it from different instructors. And then I realized I do need to hire somebody.
And did you do the 30, 60, 90
Yes,
class as well?
yes. So now we have 30, 60, 90. We just onboarded a client concierge. We just onboarded a buyer's agent, 30, 60, 90 all the way. And they understand what it is. At the end of 30 days, we're going to check in with each other and see if not just if you're the right fit for us, are we the right fit for you? Right? And then in the 60 days, we're going to do it again. And in 90 days, we're going to do it again. And then we'll decide whether or not, if we can help you towards your goal.
What 3 questions you said you asked yourself?
Yeah.
What were those questions again?
Am I good at what I do? Oh my gosh, am I good at what I do?
Do I bring value?
Yeah. Do I bring value to others?
And what was the third?
Yeah. Do I love what I do? Yeah. Do I love what I do? Do I bring value to others whom I serve? Am I good at it? You're welcome. I think there are different questions for everybody, but those were the 3. Yeah. If I don't feel I'm good at it, why am I doing it? If I'm not bringing value, then why am I killing myself doing it? If I'm not bringing value, is there a better way to bring value? And can I do it? Am I completely offline? Sorry. I hate being on camera. I just want to shut it off. I'm actually trying to hide from it.
When you're hiring somebody,
Yes.
what are your like hard pressed no, like if it just won't qualify anymore, this is not gonna work.
Victim language.
If people say, so explain that. A lot of people aren't gonna understand that, and that's so strong.
Sure. So part of career visioning, one of the process is, first of all, we ask, it depends on how quickly they respond, right? And once they respond, I look at their writing. If there's like lowercase i's and it's like writing as if they're sending a text to their 18-year-old child, it's a hard no for me. Because we're dealing not with just first-time home buyers, we're dealing with chairmen of global organizations. That person's gonna be representing us, our brand. So that's a hard no. It's a hard no. Hard no. Don't even show me that resume or that email. Second is once we say, okay, this resume looks pretty good, and we respond to them, please take the DISC assessment and please take KPA. Let's see how quickly they respond to it. So the people that say, write back, absolutely, thank you so much. And then I get their KPA and I get their DISC back the next day. Okay. Matches our brand, right? Go-getter, intelligent, takes responsibility. The others, after 3 days, they're out. Courtesy. How's their tone in their voicemails, in their emails? Then when it's time, you look at their case, it's time to validate or verify their KPA, right? And then the KPA gives you the job matches, right? There are times where you think this person is going to be fantastic and they're very low match for an agent or a buyer's agent or a listing agent. They're very low match and you have to investigate. So the KPA tells you if they can do it. It doesn't tell you, can they do it? Like if you teach them, can they do it? Are they coachable? It doesn't tell you that. That's when the interview process becomes extremely important because you're asking really detailed questions about the answers that they were given, what the KPA is telling you about them. So for example, if I need somebody really assertive and their assertiveness is like really low, I'm going to ask questions to say, was that a mistake when they took the KPA? Or I'm going to qualify it, right? I'm going to keep asking questions to see whether or not it is low assertiveness or is it high assertiveness and was a mismatch. If it's not a match, we graciously bow out and we say, and we have language with that. Then we get to the life story, right? This is one of my favorite parts. Oh, my favorite part is motivational interview. The life story is really interesting. That's when all the language comes out. So life story is I'm doing a career visioning class now. The life story starts with, okay, tell me, we're going to walk through your entire life journey. since you first started working. So we're gonna tell you, like, what was your role? When was it? What date to what date? We used to be able to ask, what did you make? We can no longer ask that. That comes later. You can ask it a different way. And then you say, okay, what were your highs? What were your highs? What did you do? What were your highs about that job? And they'll start telling you their highs. Well, why did that make you so excited? What makes it a high for you? Then what were your lows? And you listen. And then what were your learnings? Right? And so there was one person I thought was magnificent, but the entire life story was about her and being in front of the stage and being right all the time. My manager didn't listen to me, but I was right. And so my question was, did you ever bring it up to your manager? No. Then, then what was your role in that decision? Right? So these are the questions that you get to ask during the life story. Then it's a red light, green light. Do we move on or not? Then it's a motivational interview. Okay, 4 quadrants. First 2 up top are your career, right? Second quadrant is finance. Right? This is where we're going to really understand where they want to go, what excites them, and what they need to earn to be excited, right? And then the bottom 2 quadrants is really about what's important to them. So say, what other 2 components of your life, what parts of your life are really important to you? Some people it's about charitable giving. Some people it's about health and wellness. Many people it's about family. Some people it's about, coming out of poverty or something like that. So it's whatever's important to them. Then you go through each quadrant and you ask these questions and to see if you can really get them there. Are they realistic? Can you get them to think better, bigger? Can you even help them? Because part of leading is really not just for your lives, it's for the lives of the people you're going to lead. So after COVID, I decided to do the motivational interview again with all of our team members. And boy, that was a learning, because after 2020, things changed in their lives. Their motivations changed. And so we did part ways for a few people because I realized that we were not the place for them at that point. It wasn't because they weren't performing, it was because I realized they need to be in a more stable environment, right? And we helped them find other positions. So really heavy.
That's good.
But
That's good. I think that, there's a lot of cappers in here who are growing teams or have teams, and they are right now pivoting. And so to hear it from you rather than from me, it's good. So I appreciate that.
Sure.
So thank you.
yeah,
So talk about how you had other adventures, if you will. And it's just not real estate. You have other things going. Oh, please.
Piggyback on that real quick, please, Caroline. How long does that process take? As for you and your team, as you're bringing somebody on to go through, starting from when you send the disc and KPA to doing the motivational interviews, how long are we?
one person took 3 months.
Okay.
And one person took 1 month. So that's not the entire process, right? So after the motivation interview, then it's team interview. Or it could be, if you don't have a team yet, it could be people that you trust, right? That know how you work. So they get to ask questions of them and they get to ask questions of vice versa. You're out of it. Like, I'm not in that interview at all. Then if they pass the team interview, then it goes to defense. So I have my coach, I have some other trusted people as defense. So I have to tell them, if this person were not to succeed, why? Why would that be? If you ask that question of yourselves, boy, that actually shows up like the areas of opportunity you have to coach that person, right? And then it's all reference checks too. The reference check questions during that career visioning that class gives you are incredible. They're fantastic. And you really get a lot of information from the people who are doing the references. And then we're about to sign, we're about to send the offer letter. I do one last check, everybody. Anybody have any objections, really? And if somebody objects, we don't do it. Yes, because we're a team.
There's a question here. What are the biggest adjustments you had to make when you started in luxury? What are the common issues that you had to begin with? Objections, agent commission strategies, and so on.
Yeah, great question, loaded question. Biggest question is when you're starting to luxury, why you? Why you versus all the other luxury agents that are serving this community? Right? So what is your value proposition? It has to be really good. So spend time doing that too. Why should they hire you? Pretend you're your own client. Why should they hire you? It's not something I can answer, right? When you're individual agent, you can leverage Keller Williams. You can definitely leverage our network, our market share, our marketing, the Keller Williams luxury brand. And now you've heard a lot of the assets that we have to support you, right? You have the presentation, and then you're amongst a company that shares. So if you want to do a mastermind about it, I'm sure like if you just posted it somewhere, the luxury Facebook page, it's open to y'all, right? I'm saying y'all now because I'm going to Austin so much. It is, there's so many KW luxury Facebook pages and Instagrams. The official one is KW Luxury Official. Okay, so you can belong to that, you know, request to join. And then you'll see all the masterminds that are going on right now. So if you don't have an ALC luxury chair and you want one, you can vote for one. That person can jump on right away. They have ALC luxury chair masterminds once a month. How do you bring luxury to your market center? How do you serve your agents who want to get into luxury?
I love that.
Yeah. So that's the first question. Know your value proposition. If you don't have a team or you're new to luxury, leverage Keller Williams. Happy to help you with that. What's the other thing?
Objections. And do you ever go through the issues with agent commissions?
No. Agent commission for us is, we explain it. Okay, this is the way I explain it. As you know, the commission, as you may know, the commission in the state of California is not set in stone, right? Typically and historically and customarily, it's been 6%. And how that works is the seller decides what to offer out to the side representing the buyer, right? And it fluctuates. It can go from 2.5. This is our area, so please don't take these numbers, and if it's not your area, don't do it. 2.5 to 3%, sometimes even more. And it depends on the market. So back in 2008, people were offering 3.5, 4% to the buyer's agent. And it is, I say this again, I'm not sanctioning this. There's OP sitting there right there. is that, you know, unfortunately, some agents do look up and down and see what's going to pay them more. It's completely unethical and against our code of ethics, but some agents do that, if you're under 2.5%, you're seen as a discount listing. And you don't want to be seen as a discount listing, do you? No. Okay, done, right? For our side, we do, our clients pay us 3%. 3% is for anything that we come in and we transform the home. That's it. They pay us 3%. And this is what we do. By the time we reach that conversation, they've already seen our value and what we do for them. And they just go, okay. If they don't bring it up, I bring it up. You might be wondering about our fees, and this is what we do. By then, I've talked about our transformations, our communication. Luxury clients want you to save time, help them save time. They don't want any headaches at all. They want the highest possible price in the least amount of time, right? They have people around them a lot of times. They have their financial advisors, they have their accountants, they have their wealth managers, maybe. So why are we not part of that team? Why are we not a part of that circle? So how do you make yourself so that you're a part of that circle? And by solving their problems. So how do I know I'm going to get the most? What's your plan? How is this going to be done so I don't have to put eyes on it efficiently, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So you start thinking about the questions they might have and answer them during your conversation with them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So before you go in, just start thinking, what are some of the objections they're going to have, and address it in your conversation. So it doesn't even become a question, anticipatory, right?
As a solo agent, what is your one piece of advice that you can give?
Oh. Solo,
Five.
oh gosh, solo agent, you still need to build a team, a trusted team around you. And that doesn't mean they don't have to be on your payroll, right? So your trusted team is your vendors, your contractors, your painters, your stagers, all of that, and treat them really, really well because they'll make you look good. Because if you don't have a team, they're part of your team. And they're going to carry out your brand standards. So having that awesome team together will help create an amazing experience so that they can't wait to refer you to their friends and family. And just know that when people are referring you, it's their reputation on the line too. So when a referral comes in, it's even more stressful for us because somebody's trusting their best friend or their mom or brother to us. So we got to make them look good. So build a team around you that may not be on payroll, but they're still on your team. Number two, you have to make yourself so valuable that when you're competing against a team, that it's still a no-brainer to choose you. So you have to ask yourself, what is your value proposition? And talk to everybody, ask for referrals, have that conversation. At every high point, we do the promise, Mike Hicks promise, we do that in our form. By the end of this transaction, it is our goal that you're going to be so happy with this transaction that you just want to tell everybody about us because that's how our business grows. Are you okay with that? Absolutely. And is it okay that we keep checking in with you throughout the process to make sure that we're delivering on our promise? Absolutely. They've given you consent to check in with them. They've given you consent to tell other people about you. Ask them to tell people about you after a transaction. And then we do those check-ins. How are we doing? And if we're not doing great, we need to course correct, right? And at every point they're saying thank you, where they're really high. You don't wait till the end to ask for the referral or remind them for the introduction. When they're excited, oh my gosh, I'm so happy, the staging looks so great. It's a great time to remind them. So don't be afraid to ask for referrals.
No, I really like how you talk about, are we delivering on our promise?
Yes.
That's really good. As far as like with our side too, leadership, that's part of our retention. That's a good.
Yeah. In leadership, the agents are our clients.
Right, 100%, 100%. We're doing our GPS right now and redoing it from what we did in January. It's how can we push our senior a little bit further?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And one thing to do is another thing for you to do is we do a SWOT analysis, SWOT, strengths, opportunities, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We do that every year. That's part of our team advance.
Say
And
it one more time.
SWOT, SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What are your strengths? What do you do really well? Doing a SWOT can actually lead to your value proposition. And then it can also show your areas of opportunity, right? Your strengths. What do I do really, really well? People can't touch me with this. It's so good. It could be your connections in the neighborhood, your connections with other agents and connections in the community. It could be the way you market. It could be so many things. Weaknesses. What are your areas of opportunity that you see? You really have to hold that mirror up in front of you. Opportunities that you see, and then threats. Like, what are the threats economically that could happen in your business? Like, look at what's happening in the world right now. So you always want to ask what if. When you're looking at threats, you want to ask what if. Okay, threats, stock market crashes. How do I prevent that? Right? Or not prevent the market crash, but once it happens, what is my plan to have a sustainable business? That's going to get your wheels turning. It's hard work when you're doing these things. Threats, like who are my competitors? Look, who are the people that are doing things maybe faster? Do I even want to do that? And I think another thing for the solo agent is to not chase everything. And it's for everybody. Just not chase what everybody else is doing. You want to go where the business is. You want to go where the clients are going to be. So I say, like, if you get seasick, don't join a sailing club, to meet clients. If you hate wine, don't join a wine club, right? So if you do what you love, meet people there, because that's when the genuine you is going to come out and you're going to really feel great when you're there. and you're meeting people that are like kind. So how great is that? Any others?
No, I think we're good now.
Okay. Let's see.
Is there any other questions, you guys? How about here?
Yes.
How did you break into the luxury market?
I really studied. I knew in the very beginning that I could do it. I was looking at homes and land. I'm like, I could do that. I could do that. So it's your mindset, right? And so that's why they have this role, professional development, is because we want to tell you like luxury is not scary. You know, we're here for you and step in, the water is fine. And so how do we do it? How do we grow your luxury business? And so I knew I could do it. And then I was just fearless. I asked every luxury agent for an open house. Didn't matter where I was going to drive to. I was going to go do it and do the open house and leave it in better condition than when they left it. I knew that I was going to give them an entire report of who came in. I didn't even want any of the referrals at the open house. I just wanted experience and really understand who the buyers were coming in, what their conversations were, really wanted to get to know them. And then I became the person to go to for luxury open houses. And then first listing, then it started. Not everything we do is luxury. So we're price blind. Everybody deserves a luxury experience. From starter homes through multi-million dollar estates. But, yeah. Mindset is everything. Like I can't do it because, well, what if you did?
And what about the KW luxury group on Facebook? Is it the KW luxury official?
Yes.
Official.
Yeah, Instagram as well. There's a lot of communication there. And if you are part of luxury, so check with your MCA, if you're a part of luxury, if you are an earned in luxury agent, make sure that your MCA approves you so that you get rolled into luxury and then you have your luxury orientation and our luxury team will take care of you. They'll make sure.
Actually, in the beginning of the Zoom call, we went into chat on Zoom. We listed everybody's name there. Danny, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you please send that out to everybody as well?
Yeah, I already did.
Oh, you did?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So congratulations to everybody who's earned in.
Yeah, very exciting.
very
It's a good
exciting.
Time to be in luxury, that's for sure.
It sure is.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So what did you do different, or what's the, what did you do different between like the open house for luxury and open house for like
I got the disclosure packet before I went, so I understood the house. So I wasn't there just to get clients. I was there to sell the house, help the agent sell the house. So when people asked me about roof, I could answer about it. So there's so many times it's one of my pet peeves. I walk into open house, the agent knows nothing about the house, right? How old is the roof? I don't know. Okay, well, can you tell me the sewer rattle? It works. I just flushed the toilet. You know, so, so if you're doing somebody else's open house, please make sure you read your disclosure packets and you understand the house and you represent the brand, the Keller Williams family well. And then when people understand that you do your homework, you know about this house, can you tell me about this neighborhood? So I read the disclosure packets beforehand. I studied the comps around the area and I looked at anything that was active currently in that price point. So I could talk intelligently about those listings. Then you get buyers.
Is there any other questions, you guys?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm looking at here, see if there's any more.
So go to KW Connect. That is really your primary source of everything luxury oriented. You have my email. You can give it out to everybody. And then luxury@kw.com. They're always there at your service. They'll answer within a business day. Okay.
And also if you go on to Command and go into the marketplace, there's so much right there too.
Yes.
For them to look at
Yep.
for the luxury division as well.
Mhm.
If anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to email
Yes.
myself, MCA, Patrick, Barb, and we can get the answer.
Perfect.
I can't believe you came.
I know.
I'm
Thank
so
you,
excited.
everybody.
Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna go and do this. You got it? Or do you want me to? Yeah. Well, you know what, you guys, before we do close it out, did everybody see in the chat room on Zoom who the top 3 are for the contest? It's Ashley, Shannon, and Pat. What was that? Oh, wait, Ashley. No, Ashley's number 1. I saw that. Let's go back. Is 3, yeah. There we go. Yeah. So, and everybody who's here gets 2 extra points. So we're excited about that. So that's good stuff. And then we should be announcing the winners in April. We're going to figure that out though, because everybody's going on vacation. So we'll figure that out. And then the next team meeting will be in Modesto. Manteca then. Okay. Okay. On the 21st. That's the 3rd Monday of the month. And then we obviously we'll do it on Zoom as well. Okay. You guys, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day. This was very, very important to all of you. And I know you, a ton of you wanted her to come. So I'm excited about that. Janet, I know you're my #1 gal on this one. So thank you. And if there's somebody else that you are desiring to come out here or go on Zoom, let me know. I know her buyer's agent is like, get me on your calendar, Michelle. So we're going to get him back on our calendar in person. All right. So thank you guys. Oh, good. Good, good.